I always require that clients go through my brand intensive first, which is like the deep, like almost like therapy work that I do with people, to pull out like what is ultimately important. Kind of had this like crash out. What am I gonna do? Do I go back? Are people interested enough that like this is something that could be like sustained? So as far as like showing up yourself, that was probably one of the first times where I've shown up to a room that I'm like, I want to be in so bad.
Guys, today I'm with Anna, and she is a photographer. Brand strategy, clarity, helping people find their focus, and then what that focus looks like visually. Is that about accurate? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, great. So my name is Anna. My business name is Anna Katherine Creative. So a lot of business people call me Anna Katherine. So it's kind of my stage name.
It's my stage name.
But I am a brand strategist. I primarily work with other creatives. So I'm working with artists, musicians, photographers, anybody who is using their personal expression and they're selling that as their business. So I work with creatives. I do brand design. I do website design. I also do a lot of different kinds of photography as well.
Do you have a favorite? Like, if you could only do one, what would it be? Oh,
No, my answer is always no. Everyone always asks that question. If you could pick one, the answer is all of them. I want to do all of them. That's why I started my own business, so I can do everything.
you know, that is the beautiful thing about owning your business is you can do whatever you want because it's your business.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what do you think, what's your favorite thing about websites, for example? Like, is it the consultation part of it where you're helping like pull information out of people's brain to then turn into a visual? Is it, I don't want to speak for you, but like, what's your favorite part about design?
Yeah, my favorite part about design is there's always a moment with every single person that I work with, where the jumbled, what do I think I want, comes out. And then we find this moment of like, this is how that's going to play out, where there's an aha for both people that are involved. I take a really relational, deep dive approach to the work that I do.
Okay.
So even for website projects, I always require that clients go through my brand intensive first, which is like the deep, like almost like therapy work that I do with people, to pull out like what is ultimately important, and then getting to take all of those hours and hours of deep dive clarity and then put it into something like a website that actually functions and gets them clients. And like that transition from we're talking about things to actually executing it, and everyone seeing like the direct like ROI from that work is magic. So all of it. It's all of it. I love all of it.
I was gonna say, it sounds like maybe it's the implementation after the strategy of it. Like, that's the thing you enjoy seeing. Well, everybody enjoys seeing the ROI, but I think it sounds like seeing it come to life is like the payoff.
Yeah, seeing it come to life is definitely like the back end payoff. I feel like the front end, this is the answer to the question you were asking before. If I could only do one thing, it would be brand strategy workshops that I do. Because that ends up becoming the foundation for like, who are you as an artist ultimately? Not just what you think, like everybody thinks that you are, but like who do you say you are? What are your values? What do you care about? Like if everything else was like stripped away, who are you to your core? That tends to be where everyone has those big, like, I see myself like fully, which is why I do my job in the first place.
I mean, I'm kind of the same way. The money is nice. The money is a function. The money is a tool. But the real payment for me is the seeing somebody have their eyes open for the first time, or maybe first time in a long time, or to really see like, oh, that's why I do ABC, or this is why I purpose, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
That's how I teach. I'm like, purpose, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
That's what I do. But yeah, that for me is like, cool, thank you for your money that allows me to pay my light bill.
Yeah.
But the work is when you sit across from me and then you're almost emotional because you have some type of revelation that's like, oh yeah, I serve people because.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was worth it. That's the
Absolutely.
payment
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
What were you doing before you became a entrepreneur, business owner? How did you get from whatever job you were doing to, hey, I want to fire myself and do this thing? How did that?
Great.
What is
That's
that?
a
How did that
great
happen?
question. So right after college, I started working at different agencies. So my very first job, I was a junior graphic designer. And then amidst that, that is when like COVID happened. And I kind of had this moment of like, what do I want? Like, what do I actually want now that I'm like stripped away from like all of the people that I really loved working with? Like, what do I do? So I kind of felt that craving that I talked about a little bit before of like, I want to do lots of different things. I've always been that way. And the first job that I was at, I was kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again. There was a lot of monotony to it, which I had so much pent up creative energy that I was like, I need to put this somewhere or I'm going to go insane. So I started doing these like fictional Friday rebrands, like just for fun. So I was like rebranding like Harry Potter,
Oh,
like venues and like all kinds of different, like I rebranded the Krusty Krab just to like get like something out. And then eventually through those, I got my first like brand project.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I think this seems like something that I would really enjoy. I remember like the last class that I took in college under the design program that I was in was branding and like talking about like who's the ideal audience. I remember like loving that, like those like deep conversations. So
it's almost like the marketing tie-in to branding is what
yeah,
you like
yeah,
or enjoyed at that time. Okay.
yeah. So I started like kind of doing my own thing a little bit, and then that was like just as an outlet for myself. I had never assumed that I was going to be a business owner. Like, there's no way. There's no way I am capable of doing that. I feel like I can feel all over the place, like externally. So I was like, I don't
you're
know
a
if,
creative.
like, oh no, I'm a creative. Like, there's no way I can do this. And then eventually, after doing like a lot of research, and I read this book by Jim Quick called Limitless, and there are like a bunch of tasks that you're supposed to do as you kind of read the book, and one of the sections was about limiting beliefs, about things that you believe about yourself that you've never actually tested or nobody's actually told you that is true. And so one of those was like, I can't be a business owner. I was like, I don't know, I've never tried it. There are lots of people out there who are like me and are running really well done, successful businesses. I just got to figure it out in the way that I'm going to understand it, which means not just reading a bunch of business textbooks. Like I need to like get some kind of training or like insight from other people who are in the creative industry. So I started like kind of doing some deep dives there. Ended up starting my business like amidst my first job, and then had an opportunity to leave that agency job and go work as director of creative services at another agency, which was huge. That was a huge like title and like production jump from I'm like a lowly graphic designer to now I'm like in charge of all of the creative direction for
Was that scary
all the
for you?
clients. No, it was exciting.
Oh, okay. All
It
right,
was
good.
exciting getting to go from I'm like having to sit at a desk every day to now I get like every day is going to be different.
Isn't that the best part?
Exciting. So exciting.
I love that about what I do, because even though I might be here, but it seems like every day it's a new person, new conversation. I travel a lot, and I think you travel a decent bit too, right?
Yeah.
And that's the exciting part for me. It's like it's not the same four walls all the time.
Yes.
And I realized that about myself, that I was a terrible employee because I've just come in, punch a clock, and then feel like I died.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And I was for sure feeling that. And so getting the opportunity to leave was really amazing. And then getting to like pursue this new role, as well as like having the space to like build up my own business, like in tandem with that was like the ideal like situation. So I was at that job for about 2 years, and then I'm like the February of 2023, I think it was, I got news that like the company was going to be dissolving. And at the end of the month, I was going to be fully on my own to like figure it out. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Here we are.
So I kind of had this like crash out. What am I going to do? Do I go back? Do I like find another agency job? Do I like full send this thing with my own business? Have I built it up enough? Are people interested enough that like this is something that could be like sustaining?
Yeah.
And so I actually during that time I recorded a bunch of videos of myself just talking to myself that I like have so much hours of conversation of me just like talking myself like out and like through that experience. And so I was like I in real time was watching myself like process through like what do I want like out now that I don't have anything and now that I have so much freedom.
I did the same
Where do I go?
thing. I did the same thing, and it was really it is kind of like therapy to, even though how do I want to say this, talking to yourself on camera.
Yeah.
It's a one-ended conversation, but
Yeah.
thinking about, so I started doing like a 30-day vlog just in tandem with, I journal a lot, but this was like here's what happened today and here's what I think about it.
Yeah.
And I tried to keep it like 3 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Like, oh, today I was in the gym and I had this thought and blah, blah, blah. And then after the 30 days, I went back and watched it and I was like, wow, that was really deep. Or like, get to the point, man. Like, what are you doing? So it's interesting to see kind of that. I didn't really have a path that I was trying to go on, but looking back on it, I'm like, oh, that was actually kind of helpful because it allowed me to just get it out. And then the reflection part, I think, is equally as powerful.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're good. That's cool that you also like have done
I know
that
when you
too.
said it, I was like, I did that too.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's so helpful because I'm definitely an out loud processor. I've tried journaling so many times in my life. I think I have a box of journals that I've started and like had like 2 entries and then nothing else for like a year. And then I get a new journal and then I start it. So the like video like journaling for myself, and I also like audio record myself all the time because I tend to process out loud. But during that month I was processing, do I want this? Do I just want to be a barista? Like, what do? I don't know. Do I like try to be a teacher? I don't know.
Is that where your love of coffee came from?
No, I've always
Barista?
loved coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can get into that in a second. But I eventually like came to the decision of like, no, this is something that I think I would regret having not just gone for. And I had like full support of like my husband. I think if he hadn't been like, just do it, I don't know if I would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So really like going full time, my mindset was like, I'm gonna push pedal to the metal for 6 months and just see what happens. And I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah. And I met you in 22. Yep. Is that right? Yep. Man, I didn't. It's been 4 years almost. 3.5 years. And you were, I think, probably in the middle of, you had a job, but you were, so how do you think, trying to do things for other people while you were at that job? Yeah. Disciplines from your other job, how did that evolve into your, the creative entrepreneurship?
Yeah, that's a great question. I learned so much structure from working agency jobs. I learned a lot of, I think I'd had the people skills for, especially the kinds of clients that I work with now. But the structure, the file, like getting everything like systematic, ordering.
Isn't that wild?
It is a make or break.
Like,
it's so important.
I wish I had learned systems when I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until very recently that I realized the power of a system. Not just because it keeps you organized, but like you said, the structure of everything. Just daily routine. Yep. I could probably talk 3 days about daily routine. I'm going to not do that. But that just comes back to me as like, oh, this is kind of like a system.
Structure, systems, and consistency, like double checking things.
Oh my gosh, double checking.
When it's just you don't have an editor or somebody to prove. It's just you. So those checklists are great.
Yeah.
Helpful to have.
Before we started today, you guys, I made this checklist about doing a podcast, and it's called Podcast Protocol, and it is a simple like checkbox of things that I've made that like, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you oh, nope, forgot one. And it just keeps me in line. And I'll give you a brief example of how double checking is so needed. Back when I was a wedding photographer, I had a client that ordered an album.
Yep.
And this was coming into like, you could do custom covers, you could do combination aluminum, metallic, print, leather wrap, 3/4 spine bindings, all that stuff. So they ended up going with a complete aluminum front. It's a metal print with a little texture on it. It was pretty cool. But then I could foil stamp like their name or the date or whatever. So I have this amazing book, and I foil stamp, I forget their actual date, but I'm going to make it up. November 8th, 2012, whatever. So I get the book in, and I open it, and I'm like, I can't wait to see it. It's the first time I've done a metal cover, blah, blah, blah. And I look at it, and it says November on the foil stamp. And I thought, this is real? Is this real life? Am I asleep? No, it really says. And I took a picture of it, and I sent it. I said, can you read this to my friend? And he was like, yeah, November. It's the best time of the year. And I was like, no, I cried.
Yikes.
So I had to tell the client, I was like, hey, your wedding album is going to be another 10 days. Sorry about that. I'm going to give you an extra couple prints for free for the waiting.
Yep.
I don't think I still have that. It would be amazing to feature that. If I can find it, I'll show you.
Superimpose it.
Yeah. So proofing is important.
It is important.
For sure.
Yep.
In helping other creatives, you help them articulate their vision, right? How did you personally learn to articulate your vision for yourself?
I would say for me, figuring out my own brand has been a lot of like potential trial and error, but I also feel like where I'm at now is a conglomeration of every single creative pie that I've stuck my fingers in for my entire life. So I feel like Anna Katherine Creative as it exists didn't start when I started this business. It started the first time I was like, I want to be an artist. Yeah. And then just over time being exposed to so many different kinds of people and kinds of media and mediums and spaces and like learning how to take good risks. So it's a more complicated answer, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's like an artist that works with actually creating, like I have a bunch of paint stuff. I do not call myself an artist in that regard, but it is like therapy. So just like this was a total thing I've never tried before.
Nice.
But I think that's the important thing is to take an educated risk, or in this case, you could work with charcoal, you could work with crayons, you could work with ink, you could work with acrylics, oils, sticky medium, I forget what it's called, medium paste, something or other, clear leveling paste.
Yep.
Like all those things, I feel like as an artist, if we don't try different things, we may never know what's on the other side of those things. And I think so many people are afraid to step out of their comfort zone. And one of my phrases when I was going through my own like goal setting for January for this year, I came up with the word that I wanted to use for the year, which was discomfort. And I just want to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And for me, I think it shows that when you stop trying new things, it is a sign of contempt.
Yeah. And
content is a dangerous place to be.
It is. Yeah. And it's dangerous to be in that space, I think, as an artist. That's like one of the big things that I take into my work is I'm not in the business of building brands that are never going to change.
Right.
Because the people that I work with have to change. They have to
Well,
change in order for their
if you're
brands to
yeah,
be
if you're not changing, you're not
evolved.
growing.
Yeah. And then your art dies.
Yeah.
And you can't have that.
No.
It's such a sad like thing to think about. And for me, that also is like a challenge for myself to continually like put myself in like potentially uncomfortable situations or just new things. I'm constantly trying new things all the time.
I mean, there's always going to be fear around something new, but I find myself trying to evaluate, like, am I actually afraid of it, or is it just a new thing I've never experienced? Because for a lot of people, in terms of photography, they've never taken the flash off of their camera and tried wireless. They've never tried high-speed sync. They've never tried, and if I'm talking to I'm a total light nerd. So if I talk to somebody, I'm like, hey, have you ever used a remote trigger? And they're like, I don't know what that means. I'm like, oh boy, this is about to be fun. And where they might be terrified, I get super excited because I know what the other side looks like. And the first time that, you can use a pop-up flash as the master and put your speed light into slave mode or remote mode. And then as long as you have line of sight, like you can use that as a studio flash, right?
Yep.
But the first time I learned what a pocket wizard was and how you could, like, wait a minute, you can put this flash under a table or behind a wall. Oh I'm just like, my brain exploded. And I've never looked back. Cause I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, wait. You can take a picture at 1/8,000th of a second and actually see the see the person. Too much caffeine, you guys. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, I think that to land the plane, I think if you're not trying new things, not taking risk, then you are kind of content, and you might not even realize that you're content because things are nice, things are good. Yeah. And then you're like, wait, I didn't get as many leads, or wait, I didn't work last week. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I know that's a huge jump to make, but I think ultimately, like, if you're not challenging yourself to more education or new techniques or just seeing what you like and what you don't like, that's ultimately, I think, where growth is the best.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you've been trying new lately?
Building systems from scratch is new for me. So instead of like, I can copy paste and make it my own. So there's several AI softwares now that can help you do that. And I'm using one called Replit. And it's so powerful. It kind of scares me, but you can try to work an idea. It was a simple checklist, right? Like the thing that I did, I was like, hey, I want to make a checklist so I don't forget how to connect the thing and turn the record, push the button, all that. So I know I could have done it in Canva, but I would rather like make when I click this, it moves into this category, and then I have actions that need to happen. And once I finish all those, then it goes into this. So I don't know. I feel like I'm becoming a nerd as far as like all photographers are nerds, you guys, if you didn't know. But yeah, building systems from scratch is something that I've kind of been infatuated with lately. That and also some of the newer technology. Oh, I can tell you this because it's exciting. Yeah. So I've been on this educational journey, me as an educator, trying to get people into what I'm saying more. And so I can't do that. I need to pause and say this differently. So I'm an old school person. I love analog cameras, film cameras, love them. DSLRs, great, that have a mirror that you can actually push the button and hear it open and close. But you cannot do this one thing that I wanted to do with a traditional digital camera. So mirrorless cameras can allow you to tether to a computer so that when you push the button, the image pops up on the screen. It also can allow you to output your video feed to, a monitor or something so that you can have real-time video feed of whatever is happening in the viewfinder. And so when I make educational tutorial videos, I love that feed from the viewfinder because I don't have to take the camera away from my face. I can talk to the model. And so I did it with, we had a shoot for Fashion Week not too long ago. And there's 4 people here. And so I have the monitor right here was the tethering monitor. So when I take the picture, that picture with the lights and everything displays. But I'll also have a secondary screen that is just showing that constant video feed. So the director can say, can we zoom out a little bit? And I can in real time see it. Or like, hey, there's a hair out of place. Oh, the shoe strap. Like you get to see it in real time and it just speeds up the whole process. And that is a super nerdy technical thing that I didn't know I loved until I tried it.
Yeah, that's great. Having that like instantaneous feedback is helpful. I think especially for like models too, to potentially be able to see like what's going on as well.
What do you think is different about helping a creative build their business versus a traditional business?
Oh, I feel like for creatives, there's an even deeper level of self that we put into our work. There's already this intense personal connection. I personally feel like the best art comes from a personal place, whether it's explicitly personal or not. And that carries an inherent vulnerability and risk that we're like, it's not just, oh, I can take pictures and I sell them and like, that's it. There's something deeper that is, we're not just selling our work, we're also
showing ourselves. Yeah.
To everything that we show up.
And I think that is such a huge part of, a lot of artists, just I'm stereotyping, but a lot of artists have insecurities, inadequacies. They're really hard on themselves. And I think it's because of that, because they put themselves into their work. And then the other side of that coin is, oh crap, people are going to see this. How are they going to react? What are they going to think?
Yeah. And then especially tethering that it's something,
because it's real time.
It's real time where you get instant feedback from people that you can see in that, like even in the analytics of your business, that can affect how you see yourself and how you see your art. So it's this, being a business owner itself is a risk. You're putting yourself out there. Being a creative business owner is something that if you don't know yourself well, and that's something that you're afraid of is to be seen, you're gonna have a really hard time. It's really hard. It takes a little, you have to have more skin in the game.
Well, and that's honestly why I chose to go do live podcasts, because it was a force of hand for me to, again, be uncomfortable. But I just thought, what am I afraid of? Honestly, like other than accidentally saying a cuss word, which I hope I don't do. Sorry, Mom. But I mean, like anybody that records podcasts and you don't do it live, I'm not bashing you. I'm not saying that's totally fine and good. I just mean, like for me, I needed the push. I needed the challenge of, I don't want to say getting over myself, but it's that same thing. Like I have to record myself on camera now more than I ever have before. And I used to freak out and get nervous and lock up and go, I don't know why I was a cartoon character just then, but, that's part of the, just screw it. Just get over it. Yeah. Just say what you want to say.
Yeah. And I think we're also in a unique industry as well, where that is just as scary as it is receptive. That's most often when I'm working with clients, my referral network, the way that I organize my client experience and the process and the output of the work that I get to do, it thrives in that kind of discomfort, but like we're all in this together. And I think there's a lot more like ability and space for us to show up more authentically, raw as humans than maybe like a business guy can show up to his like CEO corporate office. There's a level of performance there. And I think there's some performance that we can bring into the creative space, but we have a little bit more freedom than any other industry, which is magical and scary all at the same time.
I know. Was there a moment in your journey so far where you just chose to show up unapologetically you?
I feel like I do a decent job doing that. I think I've done a pretty okay job like throughout my career so far, but I think a distinct like I'm just screw it. I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna be fully myself going into it thinking like maybe I have to pretend a little bit. Was actually a couple weeks ago I went and shot New York Fashion Week for the first time.
Cool.
And so I like got a bunch of designer connections. I booked a bunch of model test shoots. So I had a full like 4 days of so much work ahead of me, which was insane. But I remember talking with all of my like friends and family and everybody who I was telling about like that I was going to go out there and do this. I was like, I feel like I'm going to have to be so chill. But I was like, I'm going to have to be so cool, calm and collected and not like freak out about anything. Like I just got to be like stoic. I was like, I feel like I'm generally like so warm and like friendly. I was like, I don't know how that's going to be received in New York. I don't know if there are like cliques that are already established that are going to be hard to get into. So I ended up going out there and immediately just like, I remember being on the plane at like 4 a.m. on my flight to go spend a full day doing all kinds of shoots. Thinking like if I'm gonna be doing this and I want to do this like more than I have previously, I need to do it exactly as myself because that's the reputation that I've built anyways. So I was like, I'm just gonna go into it and treat everybody the same as I do in little South Carolina, and just if the right people are gonna connect with it, and anybody who doesn't, I probably shouldn't be working with them anyways. And it was awesome. I went into it feeling like I'm gonna have to like have a lot of false confidence and just like buck up and just like get through it. But getting to interact with every single person that I met was so warm and inviting, and then also getting to create what I really think is the best work I've ever done, photography wise, was unreal. It was so like cool getting to find myself in rooms where I didn't just feel like I was having to pretend like I belonged. I really felt it. So as far as like showing up yourself, that was probably one of the first times where I've shown up to a room that I'm like, I want to be in so bad, and feeling like, yeah,
You were here.
I'm here. I can, this is fully for me.
Yeah.
So it was crazy.
Do you have that work published yet, or is it on its way?
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff on my Instagram right now. I've been slowly updating my like website portfolio with all of the fashion work too.
Cool.
That's definitely the direction that my own like personal photography work is starting to take like even stronger, which is really
More into the fashion arena? Yeah. Cool. What's your favorite thing about shooting fashion?
Oh, the people.
That's what I knew it. I knew that was going to be the answer.
Yeah, it's the people. It's the energy. I think fashion is so fun.
It's just interpretation.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
We're
I want to
playing
do this.
dress
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
We're playing dress up, but there's also so many layers and thoughtfulness, especially working with like designers, with models. Like, I love the feeling of being a part of a team as well, where like I'm not the only person whose vision is like the most important in the room, and I love that because I think we're all better when we get to work together. So just the energy, the people are fantastic. I think they're some of the coolest people ever.
And I'm sure New York is a great place to meet those people because they're like you, coming from probably some live there, but some are traveling in to experience that thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Absolutely.
WPPI is next week in Las Vegas.
Yep.
It's I think the biggest international photography convention there is. So part of the fun for me to do that is not to sit in the lectures and seminars and hear people speak, which is fun. It's not to be on the trade show floor, but it's just to interact with all the people. Like, I still connect with people from London, from Australia, from Greece, like on Instagram. Yeah. Because they're like, hey, what are you doing here? Where are you from? What do you do? And you just are immediately surrounded by 30,000 of your best friends.
It's so good.
It's cool.
It's so fun. And too, the like that also was my favorite part about being in the pit. Like, in runway shows.
Being near the people.
Being around everybody else who's just as excited to be here.
Yeah.
And
they all get
getting
it.
to interact. Everybody gets it. It's sick.
I know.
It's awesome.
I helped organize all the creative folks for Atlanta Swim Week last year sometime. I don't remember the date.
Yeah.
But one of the cool things, just exactly what you said, is like I'm not from this city. There are a bunch of people here I don't know. And I've talked to all of them inside of 5 minutes because they're all cameras. Yeah. They're all like thinking like-minded. They're all doing the same thing.
Yep.
We're all here to have a good show, to put on a good thing. And, my involvement with Greenville Fashion Week, and that's part of why I love that is the people that are involved in it.
Yeah.
And I freaking just love it.
Yeah. It's cool. It's something different being really passionate about your work and then walking into a room where you don't have to explain the technicalities of why you love it. You just get to go right to the important stuff immediately. It was so fun getting to interact with so many creatives, specifically like in New York for those like 4 days. Cause I was also like, I'm here for 4 days. I'm going to make the most of it. I don't think I had a single bout of small talk the entire time. I think it was deep instantly.
If you go into this reserve mode where like you don't want to chat or try to meet new people, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice because you're in front of people that are probably friendly. Yeah. They definitely understand everything that you struggle with, love. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, if I'm next to somebody in the pit, well, actually you're next to like 17 people. All like within this tight circle.
You're all up in each other's armpits.
And you're like, the thing that I loved about being in, so I've done Greenville for a whole bunch, but being in Atlanta with a new team essentially, everybody was immediately like, hey, you good?
Yeah.
Like, do you need me to move? I can give you 2 more inches.
So considerate.
Like, that's so nice.
So nice.
Because they get it.
Yeah.
They understand like, oh, this takes up space, right? Or if I'm locked down on a tripod, like, hey, let me move my chair so I'm not bumping it. Like I think it's the ingrained respect for, not the golden rule, but kinda.
Yeah. Taking care of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're all in it for the same goal, essentially. What do you think is the biggest mistake that creatives make when they're trying to build a brand?
Looking at everybody else.
So like comparison syndrome?
Comparison. I think comparison and or getting too caught up in the numbers and the performance of it. And not being willing to like define things. I think that's the most amount of time that I spend with clients in brand strategy workshops is not just saying like, what do you do? What do you like? What do you want? But it's like all these words you're using, what do they mean? Like, what is it? What is that word that everybody is using? Why are you doing it? That is ultimately what sets everyone apart as humans is our why. And that also is going to be the deepest connection point for anybody who wants to work with a creative that they feel personally connected to. It's not just the work. You got to have good work ethic. You got to put out stuff that you're proud of that is industry standard or above. You got to keep learning things. Like there's the whole technical side of being a good artist, but also what really is going to make you stand out, because anybody can see an image and replicate it. Nobody can replicate your process, your experience, your why, how you got to where you are. That is what makes you distinct and different. The beautiful part about design is that you can instill those psychological things into, okay, here's based off of this thing that you care about. Psychologically, here's a color palette that's going to make people feel that. And it's going to be truthful because it comes from somewhere that's real rather than a fabrication of what can I do to stand out.
Yep.
That shouldn't be something you have to add to your repertoire. It's who you already are. It's just a matter of getting that out, boiling it down to something that you can articulate, and then attaching it to something that can be out in the world.
Individuality is a big thing that when I tell people they come into the one-on-one program, like coming through, we have a 2-day kickoff, and that is all the same for everyone because it's the blueprint. It's the foundation of the business. It helps us speak the same language later on. Yeah. That will never change, but that's the foundation. But the house that we build on top of that is completely custom and unique because you're completely custom and unique, and so is your business. So that's like, we got to take care of this core foundational business principles first, finding out all of that. What are we focused on? What's your why? What's your purpose? All that, get your core values out of the way, all that stuff. And then after we do that, we're like, all right, what are your goals? What do you actually want to do? Not just how you want to do it, but why do you want to do it? All the same stuff. And then that way their business grows because of the individuality. And I'd say all the time, like, just because I have a Nikon and a Godox light, you can have the same camera and the same exact light, and you're going to produce a different result because your thought process is different. How you use those things are different. Just because we have the same thing doesn't mean we produce the same, because we're, like I tell people, we're flavors of ice cream. And I don't get offended if somebody hires you versus me. I'm like, cool, maybe you like that style better. And I should be a cheerleader for you just as another creative in the industry that I'm a part of. I'm like, I just like seeing people win. So that's the fun part for me. You have a worldwide connection. All you have to do is, one of the things I love about going to Vegas and meeting people is it doesn't matter who the person is standing next to you. You can have a conversation with them as long as they both speak Spanish or both speak English or whatever, because they're all there for the same reason you are. And I just think that aspect of it is cool. What kind of impact do you ultimately want your work to have?
I want people to feel not just seen, but understood in anything that I do. I think for my work, there's a lot of potential for visibility, but I want there to be so there's always something deeper. And ultimately my goal, and again, why I work with creatives, is because I also want everybody to win. I think there's so much value that everyone has to bring to the table. And sometimes it takes someone coming in and helping you define what those things are, that not just through branding, everyone else sees who you are, but you also get to see yourself fully, which is so special.
I know. And that, we talked about the money before, but the money is different than the actual payment. And, for me as a coach, one of the things that brings me so much joy is being able to just stand there and be the mirror for somebody else. Because it's like when we go through, it's a lot of thoughtful work, especially in the brand strategy or, in my 2-day kickoff. What comes out of that is sometimes emotion, sometimes it's a lot of clarity. But just being able to help somebody, like you said, navigate to ultimately the why. And, I had it done for me years ago and realized, why am I doing what I'm doing? Because I believe that I was put on the earth to serve people. And the best way I know how to do that is through photography. So that's what actually on my shirt it says, serving through creating. So that's not supposed to be warm and fuzzy. It's just what I actually believe.
Yeah.
For the lightning round. Okay, so you just have to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Great.
So if you could only do one, would you do photography or branding?
Branding.
Would you prefer flash or natural light?
Flash.
Would you rather shoot editorial or documentary?
Editorial.
What's one word that defines your creative style?
True.
Would you rather have coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
A night owl.
Would you rather have perfection or speed?
Speed.
Are you safe or risky?
Risky.
What's harder, starting or finishing?
Finishing.
What's one thing creatives overthink?
Themselves.
What's one thing creatives underestimate?
Community.
If you guys want to know more about Anna, where can they go see your things?
Instagram, annakatherine.creative, Katherine with a K. Also my website, annakatherinecreative.com is a great place. I'm always around, so my DMs are open.
If you want to learn more about me, you can go to spencerstanton.com. I have all the things I do there all the time. And I do really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, this has been great.
Was fun. Next time though, ponchos, rain.
Jungle.
We could just dress the studio like a jungle.
Yeah, that's great. We need to have somebody with a hose.
Oh.
Because it needs to be raining.
Well, I guess we could plastic tarp. I don't have a drain here.
You need one of those water pumps. Do these windows open?
Yeah.
You could just
Funnel it? Oh my gosh. All right, that's all the
Yeah.
time we have for today, guys. Thank
Good ideas.
you.
You asked if I'm safe or risky.
She's risky.
I'm risky.
All right. Well,
That's it.